Since Russia launched its war on Ukraine, Kyiv has been pushing its Western allies to supply ever more advanced military equipment. But in a video address on Thursday night, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy boasted of what could be a game changer, a long-range weapon made in Ukraine, which Zelenskyy claims has hit a target 700 kilometers away. While the president rarely comments on Ukrainian attacks inside Russia, he appeared to allude to a devastating strike earlier this week. The attack damaged several military transport planes in the western region of Pskov, roughly 700 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border. Another target Ukraine's mysterious new long-range weapon would put within striking distance, Moscow, raising the stakes significantly as Kyiv tries to bring the war home to Russians. Well, for more, we can talk now to military analyst Marina Miron with King's College London. Marina, what kind of weapon could Zelenskyy be referring to?
Hello, Terry. Well, it could be a drone. So there are a couple of weapons that would come in question. The first one is being the UJ-22 drone, which is a long-range drone which has been allegedly used on strikes within Moscow. The second drone is the so-called Beaver drone, which has even a longer range, so it's up to 1,000 kilometers. So there are two potential candidates, and then there is a third drone, which experts try to identify in the strikes on Moscow. However, little is known about that third drone, but we already have two good options which would fit the descriptor.
Well, Russia, of course, is continuing to bombard Ukraine with hitting targets all over the country. How is Ukraine, under these conditions, able to develop sophisticated weapons?
Well, it is difficult for Ukraine to do so, and it is indeed a miracle that the Russians still haven't found the factories where those drones are being produced. Apparently, the Beaver drone has been in design for several years, but it hasn't been used until the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Now, the one thing would be operation security, which is very good. The other thing would be probably there is some support when it comes to the drone design, as well as spare parts needed to make those drones. So we really don't know, but it could be that Ukraine is getting some support when it comes to development and when it comes to production of such drones.
Ukraine's military intelligence chief is claiming that the attack on Pskov so far into Russian territory was actually carried out from Russian territory. What do you make of that?
Well, we have to understand that this war also has an informational dimension, and I think given the political situation after the attack, the Russian side has claimed that the West was involved in helping Ukraine to conduct that attack, specifically the Baltic states, which would have been used as a launch platform for the drones. Therefore, it might be a way to confuse the Russians and to take responsibility away from any supporters of Ukraine. This is why it's important to say Ukraine has the capability, it has its own drones, Ukrainian-made. The West has nothing to do with that. And the attacks have been launched either from the bordering regions or from Russia to lead Russia astray, because the Ukrainian side obviously doesn't want to give out the launch positions from where it would be launching the drones to strike the Russians, because it's easy for the Russians to then reverse engineer it and track where the Ukrainians were launching the drones from, and then turn on their electronic warfare systems.
Now, Ukraine scored some success there in destroying those Russian transport planes in Pskov. Do you think we'll see more of that moving forward?
It is a possibility, given the price of drones. They are much cheaper than using missiles. Ukraine doesn't have any long-range missiles, or at least those that would fit the bill. Therefore, the use of drones is both efficient. It doesn't risk the loss of human life on the Ukrainian side. It also removes any responsibility from the Western backers, because Ukrainian-made drones are used, according to Ukrainian sources, And it is much cheaper than sending something like a Storm Shadow missile, which would cost $3 million with a potential political fallout. So I think, given the fact that the counteroffensive is going slowly, we might be seeing more attacks like that.
Marina, thank you very much. That was Marina Miron with King's College London.
Thank you for having me.